there's two scenarios that we face when we're adding two integers together. The first scenario, which is the easier scenario to deal with, is when you have integers that have a common sign. So meaning you have a negative plus another negative, or a positive plus another positive. So when this happens, I have a little two-step procedure that you can follow to get your answer. So step number one, add the absolute values of the numbers. So meaning you're going to ignore the signs and just treat all the numbers as if they were positive, right? Step number two, you want to attach the common sign to the sum from step one. So basically, if you're adding a negative to another negative, your answer is negative. And if you're adding a positive to another positive, your answer is going to be positive. Okay, so let's just look at an example real quick, and I think this will all make sense. Okay, for example number one, we want to add, and then for part one, we have negative 7 plus negative 9. Alright, so step number one, we want to add the absolute values of the numbers. So the absolute value of negative 7 is 7, and the absolute value of negative 9 is 9. So what I want to do here is just add 7 plus 9, and that's going to give me 16. Okay, so this is just step number one. Okay. Now step number two is to take this number right here, and you want to attach the common sign to that answer. Alright, so I'm going to attach a negative sign to that answer because we had negative 7 plus negative 9. And so my answer here is going to be negative 16. Okay? Again, I took the absolute value of each number. The absolute value of negative 7, I got 7. Took the absolute value of negative 9, I got 9. Then I added these two numbers, 7 plus 9 is 16. And then for step number two, I just attached the common sign to that answer. Alright, so that's how we got negative 16. Now, in the future, once you get good at this, you're not going to take the absolute value like we did right there. You're just going to do this in your head by ignoring the sign and just saying, oh, I have 7 plus 9, and then when I got that answer, I'm going to attach the negative sign to it. Okay, so for part two, we have the same situation, a negative plus another negative. So negative 5 plus negative 3. And without doing all this, I'm going to ignore the signs, right? I just want to add the absolute values. So I want to do 5 plus 3, that's 8. And then I want to attach the common sign to my answer. The common sign is negative, so I'm just going to attach a negative sign. So my answer there is going to be negative 8. Now let's look at part 3. And we have negative 1 plus negative 4. Again, I'm going to ignore the signs. And I'm just going to do 1 plus 4, that gives me 5. And then I want to attach the common sign to the answer. The common sign is negative, so I end up with negative 5. Alright, let's look at one more example, and then we will move on to something else. Alright, for example 2, we're going to be doing the same thing. We want to add. And so for part 1, we have negative 9 plus negative 21. And again, we're just going to ignore the signs, so you just do 9 plus 21. Right, so that'll be 30. And then I'm going to attach the common sign to the answer. The common sign is negative, so we get negative 30. Alright, for part 2, we have negative 15 plus negative 43. Again, ignore the signs. 15 plus 43 would give me 58. And then I attach my common sign, which is negative, to this answer, and I get negative 58. Okay, for part 3 here, we have negative 10 plus negative 7 plus negative 8. So now we have 3 integers being added, and it's really no different. What you can do is just add the absolute values of the numbers. So I can do 10 plus 7, which is 17, plus 8, which is going to be 25. And then I can just attach the common sign to the answer. The common sign is negative, so I just attach a negative. And my answer is negative 25. Okay, so now let's talk about